Hi, my name is Marshall Jones, and this video is one in a series of videos that I have done on synchronous online teaching. This strategy is virtual impersonation. Virtual impersonation is where a group of students take on a topic that is assigned by the instructor, and they explore that topic by assuming the identity of somebody who is significant within that topic. This could be a researcher, it could be an historical figure. That would be dependent on what your content is and what makes the most sense. It was developed by me and my colleague Dr. Stephen Harmon, and we used it for many years when we team taught a class in online learning. I want to give you an overview of what virtual impersonation is, and then I want to show you what we presented to our students during one of the debates that we had as a way to show you how this might be operationalized. So, to provide an overview of VI, or virtual impersonation, a debate is scheduled and the topic is assigned, whatever topic works for your content area. Students work in groups. So we would often have classes of 30 people, so we would have groups of 5 with 6 people in those groups. The groups are assigned a position in the debate. They don't get to choose. That's defined by an important figure in the debate. That person might be living, that person might be dead. One of the advantages of a synchronous online environment is that you can log in with any name that you want. So you've probably had the experience where students will log in with a first name and you wish they had logged in with their first name and their last name, which means that they can log in with the name of the character that they have been assigned. So one person logs in with their character's name and speaks with the other character. So if there are 6 positions in the debate, there are only 6 people talking during the debate, and they are debating each other. What are the rest of the people in the class doing? An excellent question. Group members are listed as supporters of their character, and during the debate, they are doing real-time research on the internet and private messaging their character with speaking notes, counterpoints, etc. Now, to help explain this to you, I want to present to you the information that we presented to our students when we had a debate in our class on learning analytics. Learning analytics is when you take all of the data that gets left behind in a learning management system and use that data to both be descriptive of a learner and to be prescriptive to try and help that learner out. So the debate topic was, is it a valuable tool to help in learning or a dangerous invasion of privacy? Because you're taking a whole lot of data that learners leave behind in a system and you're doing something with it. So it's an important question in our field and one that we had our students debate. So these are the actual slides, modified slightly to present to you, that we used to explain what was happening to our students, so that you're going to research that topic and what your character might say about that topic. We gave them some readings to start with to sort of jumpstart those discussions. We told them that one person would log into the group and that the other group members would feed that person information and ideas via private messaging. Our students knew how to use the private messaging function in our synchronous learning tool that we used at the time. Before the debate, you would need to decide as a group who's going to actually be the character or spokesperson during the debate night. You would gather information that your character might say and what would be their particular point of view during that topic. And as a group, you would decide what the character's position was. We don't tell you what their position was. You have to do the reading and tell us what their position is. Structurally, what happens is that there would be a 2-minute opening statement by the character and a 1-minute closing statement. The other thing we would suggest to people is that they might come up with questions that they might ask to other people. So they not only have to research their character's position, but they have to research the other character's positions as well. So during the debate, one person would log into the synchronous classroom with a character's name. If that person was assigned Charles Darwin, then they would log in with the name Charles Darwin. Their group members would be encouraged to log in with something descriptive and common across the group. For example, there might be Beagle 1 or Beagle 2 for the ship, not the dog. The spokesperson is to stay in character throughout the debate. And one of the advantages of using a synchronous online learning tool for this debate is that you would see that person's name. Charles Darwin's name would show up in the debate, not Sam Smith playing Charles Darwin, but Charles Darwin's name would show up. We would also have a picture of Charles Darwin show up on the screen so that when Charles Darwin was speaking, you would actually see a picture of that person as well. So the other thing that's happening during the debate is that as characters are debating, the team members, your group members, are on the internet researching and coming up with information that they can feed to their characters. So that gets sent to them during a private message so that they can respond to whatever was going on during the debate. So as there would be the 2-minute opening statement, and then the moderators or the instructors in the class, Dr. Harmon and myself, would then ask a series of questions to the debaters. They would then respond to those questions, but we also had each of the characters or spokespersons would be allowed to ask 2 questions to whomever he or she might choose. So, and we would track those to see who got asked the most questions and who got asked the fewest questions. So that there would then be this opportunity for them to engage each other, having researched both their own position and the other characters' positions. They would engage in these really rich discussions and oftentimes, candidly, arguments with each other about issues that were significant and important within our discipline. And it was a way for people to sort of suspend their belief system and to have these sort of dynamic conversations with each other that they probably would not have had if Sam Smith were taking the position. But it was okay for Charles Darwin to argue with their opponent, Williams Jennings Bryan, I suppose. So our topic, just to remind you what our topic was a debate on learning analytics. Is it a valuable tool or is it a dangerous invasion of privacy? We determined that, Dr. Harmon and I, that these were the 5 characters who we wanted our students to research their positions because they were people who at the time had important things to say about either learning analytics or privacy or some component of that discussion or that debate. During the debate, the discussions between the characters was interesting, but what was fascinating was the chat messages that went back and forth between the individual groups. Now, these would come fast and furious, and it was really too hard to keep up with all of them all at once, but we were able to take a chat log of the entire discussion and use that as a way to perform some analysis and some research after the class on what our students were doing. And those chat logs would literally run into the hundreds of pages. So it was an enormous amount of information that was being generated by this graduate class. To use this strategy, you really do need to do some planning up front. It's not something I would recommend to somebody who is brand new to a synchronous online learning tool. I would suggest that you have some background and some experience and that your comfort level in using the tools was pretty high before you jumped into this type of strategy. But it is a strategy that can help your students engage at an incredibly deep and meaningful level in the topics related to your discipline. Again, I'm Marshall Jones, and this has been part of a video series on strategies for synchronous online teaching, virtual impersonation. Thanks for watching.